Good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. We appreciate it. It's a wonderful day, and as Sue says, God is good all the time. So we're going to start off with a song by Dalton, and we appreciate you being here, Dalton, along with Judy for music. Here we go.
I'd like to invite everybody to take a deep breath in with me now. One more now. It's going to be lyrics projected up on the thing. It's just little chants. Drop down into the space with me, okay? I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. That's how it goes. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love. I am dropping down to the truth of who I am. I am dropping down, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love, surrendering in love.
Thank you, Dalton. Perfect song to get centered for today's service. You know, we were at a meeting yesterday and we talked about being open at the top, but also open at the bottom. And so what a perfect song to have that flow and that total connection to the earth and to what's up above. So I'm Charlie Bourne. I'm a practitioner today, and I'll be in service afterwards along with Christy for a prayer support. And so we would love to meet with you, whatever you want to talk about. You know, we're here in service for you. So at this point, we're going to invite the children up. But while we do that, if you want to wave to the camera, but also greet your neighbor. You know, you can greet your neighbor in any way that's comfortable for you. We make a connection. We can look at each other in eye to eye, heart to heart. Just feel that. So the children this time, we're going to try a little bit differently. We're going to have the children come by the door. They're all running up there. We have 3 kids over there right now. So we'll do our song. We'll sing to the children of the world and to the child within each of us. I was watching Sally the whole time. In my heart, you are a part of me. You are the face of God. Very sweet. Thank you so much. And if you're new with us today, if you would like information about the center, you can pick up a packet in the back. The ushers and greeters are available, and we welcome you. And if you want to tour the grounds, see what we have a beautiful campus here and lots of opportunities as well to participate in different events throughout the week. And so at this point, I'd like you to perhaps silence your cell phone so it doesn't go off during service. And we're going to do have a few short announcements, so we're going to go through those pretty quickly. So first of all, Joan Richards is back doing the gong meditation on Sundays. So that's tonight. Joan will be here. She has her gong set up. And it's a beautiful time to relax and just enjoy some peace and centering and going within. So that's tonight at 6 to 7 p.m. Roy has his men's group tomorrow night from 7 to 9. And we have Speak Your Truth with Shem Smith this Friday, the 28th, from 7 to 9. And what I found out is Mary has a writing class, and some of the students are excited about coming Friday night and sharing some of their writings. So it'll be really fun to see what they have to say. And we got a sneak preview from a few, and I think it'll be not only hilarious, but also heartwarming. So I invite you to not only come and share if you feel like doing that, but also just support those who do share. It's a really, really fun evening, and we're excited about having that here. And then Paul Mitchell's, Dr. Mary's husband, his celebration of life is this Saturday, March 1st, and we'll be here at the center, and that's starting at 10:30 a.m. So join Mary and others in celebrating the life of Paul Mitchell, who served this center for so many years. He was a head usher. He went through the practitioner training and the ministerial training, and so he had a life well lived, and so we want to celebrate Paul. So that's this Sunday. So with that, I'm going to invite our reader, Susan, up, and we're shortening the readings a little bit, so pay attention, because every word counts. And then we'll invite the bell, and during that time, just allow the sound of the bell to go within and resonate at the deepest level within you. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm going to go off script for a minute. So it's so funny that you said that the reading would be shortened. So the reading will be short, but I just wanted to say I went to Banff Mountain Film Festival last night. I don't know if any of you went, but Jen and Jen were there. And I always come away. So if you've never been, Banff Mountain Film Festival comes to us from Canada, and they are independent films primarily that focus on folks who are maybe engaging in activities that would be considered extreme sports. So they're seeing beyond the boundaries of sometimes what we imagine is capable for us as humans. And I always come away feeling like, oh yes, I have never downhill skied once in my life, but I could so do that. And then Jen and I were comparing our experiences with water, and each of us so different. And so, although I cannot imagine myself doing a triathlon and swimming on the open water, I can stand on the shore and say, go Jen, do it, here's your towel. Anyway, it just reminded me this morning how our daily life can sometimes feel like a marathon. It feels like, maybe I don't have the training for this. But we each draw on our own individual experiences and support each other. Maybe it's standing on the shore and saying, "Go, Jen." Or maybe it's getting out there and downhill skiing when you've never downhill skied, but fill in the blank for yourselves. Back to the reading I was assigned to do. Thank you. It is from Pema Chodron, When Things Fall Apart, Heart Advice for Difficult Times. Naropa, an 11th century Indian yogi, met an older woman on the street. She knew he was one of the greatest Buddhist scholars in India, and she asked him if he understood the words in the large book he was holding. He said yes, and she laughed and danced with glee. Then she asked if he understood the meaning of the teachings in the book. Wanting to please her, he said, yes. She became enraged, calling him a hypocrite and a liar. That encounter changed Naropa's life. He knew he only understood the words, not the profound inner meanings of the teachings. This is where we find ourselves. None of what we've learned seems very relevant when our lover leaves us. Our child has a tantrum in the supermarket. When we're insulted by a colleague. How do we reconcile that frustration and humiliation with our longing to be open and compassionate? This is an interesting place to find oneself. For the practitioner, this is an exceedingly important place.
Please join with me in knowing that Spirit, that God, love is everywhere present, all around us, flowing through each and every one of us in the most unique and beautiful way. The individualized expression is so precious, so holy, so perfect. And I know for each and every one of us here today that we are joined together in community, whether you're in this building or online or watching this later, that we are connected in the most beautiful and spiritual and divine way. And I know for today that you listen deeply, you hear the words of Reverend Sue, you hear the words of people around you. You see the connection in looking at people. You feel their heart, their soul. And you know deep down that there is peace, that there is a way to manifest peace not only in yourself, but within others. And we expand and we allow that to take hold. We allow that to be. And so we know that it's time to let go of the old, to let go of what doesn't work, and to allow the unfoldment of the beauty of Spirit to be completely expressed in each and every moment. So I give thanks for knowing that this is the truth, that this is an opportunity to grow and to expand and be the highest that I can be. So giving thanks for this teaching, for this community, for the opportunity to know that there is a world that works for all, and we just allow it to be. So I let these words go and this prayer go into law, knowing full well it is so, and together we say, and so it is. Now, Reverend Sue.
Good morning. So we've been sharing this month, and well, a lot. We share a lot up here about the mindful practices, right? How's that going for you? Because I was thinking, I sort of became, I don't know how this happened, but I sort of became a little princess in our house where I don't have to go shopping anymore. Oh, he goes to Costco, he goes to Safeway, he does all the shopping. And so I get this privilege of just writing the list. But yesterday we needed to go somewhere to bring something, an offering. And so I went with him. So here's the mindfulness that surprised me. How many people bump into each other in the market? Have you noticed? Have you been mindful? You have to be mindful in the market. Everybody has in their mind, their list, their determination, they could walk right into you and not see you. And so I was amused by this interaction. I was watching this one man, and he was so irritated at everyone, even me. And I thought, well, at least he's taking a deep breath, because he'd go, and I thought, sorry, I meant we were both wanting to go the same spot. But anyway, I'm curious, you guys, watch yourself out, or watch others this week, out in your world, wherever you are. You are the mindful one, and you can display that stepping aside and allowing others to do what they need to do and be the example. So we have an opportunity for these lessons to keep coming home every moment. And a while back, I remember sharing this really corny little story and kind of a humorous, and I wanted to bring it back today, not because, because I want to. And it was the one, if you remember, about the gentleman that was trying to get rid of his accordion. Do you remember that one? He was trying to get rid of, good, I'll tell it to you. He wanted to let it go. He was done with it. It had been in his closet long enough. Anybody here play the accordion before I insult them? Oh, so sorry. Sorry, everyone. Charlie had an accordion for a while, but I still married him. Anyway, back to the accordion. So he thought, I need to let this go. So he thought, I got an idea. I'm going to park my car in a busy street and leave the instrument in the back seat. Leave the window open. And just go do some shopping. I'll have the doors unlocked in the car, and somebody can just take it if they want it. Well, he came back a few hours later, and the windows were broken in his car, smashed. And what did he find? A second accordion. Oh, I'm glad you laughed, if you heard it before. Because, sometimes when stories like that circle back around, I look into them even deeper. But I thought, this message today is about letting go and a new way of being together. This is an appropriate time in our nation to learn how a new way, a better way to be together. We've had enough division. And this mystery of letting go, what does that have to do with it? Because we can notice at times when we try to let go, but all the while, we're still filled with some level of frustration, some struggle, some discontent, some level of disillusionment. And our suffering only doubles. So letting go is such a mindful practice, such a sincerity of heart that leads to ultimate freedom. Because you could feel it. You could feel what that man would have felt like if he came back to his car and there were no accordions. There's freedom. There's freedom when we're able to let go. So as we allow that to just sink in at a different level today, because we are talking once again about letting go, and we're realizing it is more like the Narupa story. It's more than the words that we speak, just like that reading shared. And Susan, you gave it such justice. It's what we're understanding at such a deep level, the truest meaning of letting go, the truest freedom. So I ask you, as you think about this, if there's something stirring inside of you that you've been trying, really, your best self has been trying to let go. Ask yourself, well, what is my motive in trying to let this go? Could be stuff also that you're trying to just unclutter. But you need to know why you're letting go of your clutter. Why? And if you don't have that answer yet, maybe it's not time to let go of a thing or an object. But consider as well, most importantly, is the emotional trapping, the emotional traps that live inside of us. They surprise us sometimes. So you have to investigate that and say, what am I ruminating on? Where do I go when I'm just left by myself? Driving in the car. What am I ruminating about? What strings are attached to me when I'm thinking that I really have deep and pure forgiveness intentions? What am I expecting from others? I've been doing my full deep work. I'm ready to forgive someone. What's wrong with them? Why don't they receive it? So we have to break that window into a deeper looking, because you realize as you offer this opportunity of forgiveness, so think about the analogy of that little story again. What if they just break the window of your intentions and they're just doubling your sorrow by throwing something else at you that you didn't expect, that you didn't try to work with at that level, and they're not seeing your sincerity of heart? That gets you, right? How dare they? Look how humble I am. But can you remain open? Really, no matter what it is, I think that's the truth here. When you let go, can you remain open? Because that's being free. So there's something that Earnest Holmes says here that I found in the reading this week. As you learn to release all your burdens to the right action of God, you will find that everything falls into its proper place. You let your problems slip away from you, realizing that a power greater than you are. And you realize also this fulfillment can come with ease, and there is a sense of joy and accomplishment. Oh, okay. I'll try it that way this week. I'll just try it that way this week. Because I know you're here because you're all on a journey of spiritual awakening at some level. And the thoughtful way, as we just mentioned, of mindfulness itself is this invitation to stay awake, to stay aware of every moment. And the secret, as we remember Eckhart Tolle, That idea of the secret place of all of this is not wanting the present moment to be different than it is. That's Eckhart Tolle. Such a simple statement, but what a clearinghouse. And I know, because I have my challenges. I have some real sticky challenges with certain areas in my own experience, in my own emotional realm, of disappointments in my heart that I try to seek resolution with. So I do so much want to let that go. And I also realize, as for myself, as for maybe for you as well, that ground of that particular level of going deep and understanding, that level of soul searching in ourselves, that's fragile ground. But that's what we stand upon. That's the present moment that we're on. And even as we try, it's still, something still feels incomplete. God, I did my best, but I still feel icky inside. Why? I just did forgiveness work. Ho'opono, ho'opono, ho'opono. Why? I'm not fully aware why. But I realize, even as we try, even if it feels incomplete, somehow, some of our resentment seeds are still buried deep. We're not perfect in that way. So we need to give ourselves some grace and rejoice those moments where those seeds, those weeds, suddenly come to the surface. We don't need to beat ourselves up. We welcome it. We pick up that weed and we put it on our altar. And we work with it. In the soil of our consciousness, that's where these seeds lie. And boom, something's triggering us when we least expect it. You see, we can't predict when that's going to happen. And when our motives were for good, but then someone throws it back with a little bit of shame, a little bit of blame, a lot of accusation, and attacks our character on a certain level, boom, we shatter. We're human. But we just finished reading Melissa Harris's book, When Humanity Meets Divinity, or When Divinity Meets Your Humanity. And that's what I really looked at that. This is what we're trying to do, all of us, while we're here. Awakening to our divinity. Our spiritual awakening is calling for us to shift, and that really pulls us out of this craziness once and for all. And you know what it's called, what I think it's called? Unconditional love. At its purest, unconditional love. We know we are awake when all sense of limitation is released. Our hearts don't constrict in the presence of the enemy or the other. We no longer feel that isolation or feel attacked or even attached to what the other's perspective even is. We align with our values, we align with our truth, and we walk our way. Then the ground is no longer fragile. It's divine ground. We see ourselves, we speak that truth. We speak that truth with such love, compassion, integrity, and we leave it at that, even if it's not received that same way. We know who we are. And that if we allow ourselves to do our spiritual work, our mindful practices, we allow our time in silence and stillness and contemplation to map our day, and at the end of the day, we allow our gratitude and a revisit of how we lived that day, that precious, precious day. How was that? How did I do? How did I do as you fall asleep? And then we realize, there we are back again in our God self. And I like to look at that God self. This quickened me when I was 18, 19, when I took the world religions class and the study of Hinduism and the study of the Upanishads, and they speak of Brahman. I was a Methodist, so it was God. I hear Brahman. I like that, Brahman. Soul was Methodist. Atman. Ooh, in Hindu, Atman. I like that. I like the depth of that. And so Atman is that self that is eternal. Think about it in your own self: indestructible, infinite, invisible, transcendental, blissful, independent, pure witness, the enjoyer, and anything less than that. Anything less than that is a sign of your ego trying to control what is. Whispering to you that this is the ego part. You know, Sue, you really do want to be right here. Well, yeah, because I am. You know, and it even has a tone. So the spiritual person, the spiritual longing in all of us wants to polish our way with that and lift ourselves. So in a moment, I'm going to share some of the prayers of the cosmos from Neil Douglas Klotz's. This little tiny book, I think there might be some copies in the bookstore, but Prayers of the Cosmos. It just revisits the Aramaic languaging of Jesus. And if you have been, your time with Jesus has been a stumbling block in your life, if you go back to the true teachings, you know how it is. When you say something and then somebody comes back to you and says, I heard that you said, that's not what I said. I can just imagine Jesus going, peace, not what I said. Can't they hear me? So this book is a real helpful with that. So he says, just a taste of this. The inner shrine by which God's name is hallowed can be developed only through letting go, releasing some of the clutter inside that keeps us too busy to be silent, too busy and not being receptive to the still, small voice. To create this holy place inside, letting go is necessary. If the room, here's one for me, is filled with old knickknacks, there's no space for a shrine. Here's one for you, Joey. If the flute is clogged, no music can come through. Great analogies to awaken us to an opportunity of heart to really allow this year to be the one where all the forgiveness inside of you, all those weeds, you sprayed Roundup on them all, and they're gone. So the second part of the message is a new way of being together. So what does that have to do with letting go? Well, if you think about it, it has everything to do. Because who would you be? Who would you be if you truly let go of your end of the tug of war? Any disagreement, if you let go of your end, who would you be if you finally understood that forgiveness is the only way, the holy way forward when you find yourself in resistance? It's the only way. I think as we approach Easter and you think of that story of the crucifixion, but there's a moment, there's the most important words of that. Forgive them, they know not what they do. Does that sound familiar? Use it in your own life. When somebody is so irritating, I get it. Ugh. Forgive them. They know not what they do, but I know. The God in me knows. So we transform this suffering. We start to pay attention. Even though we're still feeling a little bit of shame, a little bit of disappointment in ourselves. We're saying, I'm going to dive in deeper. I'm diving in. I'm going to embrace the alchemy of this moment to find this self-awakening, this self-realization that I long for. And all the while, you're leading your introspection into a place of love as we light up to a great sense of light and understanding. And we can feel it. It's a tangible feeling. It's a sense of freedom. It's a sense of, oh, there I am that I am. I'm set free. All of the scriptures are suddenly coming alive inside of me. I'm like Narupa now, knowing to anybody that passes me in the street, yes, I know the meaning of these teachings. I live and breathe them. I am them. That's letting God be God in us. That's letting spirit be spirit in you. That's letting nature be nature in you. That's letting the mystery be the mystery in you, whatever your name, for the nameless is. You're allowing that to be. This is the freedom. This is the taste of our choice. And such a transformation is revealed. Oh, imagine. That's a hard one. Everyone gets to be who they are. No, it's not working that way. But the other part of that equation, everyone gets to be who they are, and so do you. We don't have to force anything on anyone else. We don't have to go along with what's happening. What is ours to do is live our truth. Stay mindful of your core values. Keep honing them, repeating them to yourself. Being kind, like the Dalai Lama. Kindness is my religion. Be honest, be love, and then let go. And I can't emphasize enough, this is not meaning to go out in the world and be a pansy. Because being a peace advocate doesn't mean that you're just going to quiver and accept things. You're going to speak up. And you're going to speak with unconditional love, and you're going to speak with truth. It's such an empowering sense of freedom. And this is where Thich Nhat Hanh comes in and saying, there's a new way of being in our world. And it involves us to take on mindfulness, compassion, and enlightenment. He reminds us to develop all of these qualities and stay in the world, stay with the world. Spiritual practices will help us to adapt and survive what's going on. You see, above all the chaos, if you rise above, this is Thich Nhat Hanh, and I love this. It makes me almost want to weep. There's a kind of gentle revolution going on in all of us. And once we've started a revolution in our own consciousness, it brings radical change to our family and our community. But first, we must be determined to change our way. Our way. There's always something to look at deeper. So I want to come back to the spiritual way and the approach of the Aramaic translation of the Lord's Prayer in just a few words. Because I found, as I read it, it really strengthens our determination that I know of having conversations with so many of you in an individual way. This is what we're longing for. So as we join together and look at some of these as spiritual practices, allowing ourselves to get absorbed in the depth, we join in a deeper consciousness of the truth of what it means for us to each let go. Think about this. Oh my gosh, when you enter it, you are creating this holy, sacred space. And that does live within you. You are the most worthy of that. So all of this great spirituality that we speak of is this component of letting go. Now, I'm going to read this and then just a little bit, I'm going to let Judy know what's going on. Judy, I'm letting you know what's going on. So, But something else just happened to me spontaneously in the moment. So, Mr. Doug, you see me? Doug, can you come sit up here behind me? Can you come up here and sit behind me? I'm going to call him forward to share something he shared with me this morning. So I'll call you in just a moment. So I'm staging it. Judy, you can sit at the piano now if you'd like, and then I'll go. You hit it, you come forward, you listen. So briefly, so he takes the Lord's Prayer, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Remember that one? Some of you might most likely have been one time or another introduced to that. It's one of the most famous prayers in the Bible. The Aramaic version, this is the part just on the phrase, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed be thy name. Let's expand on that. This is what it really means. Focus your light. Focus your light within us. Make it useful. As the rays of a beacon, show the way. Help us breathe one holy breath, feeling only you. This creates a shrine inside in wholeness. Help us let go, clear the space inside of busy forgetfulness. So the name comes to live. Your name, your sound can move us if we tune our hearts as instruments to its tone. That's the divine name. Hear the one sound that created all others. In this way, the name is hallowed in silence. In peace, the name resides, a room of one's own, a holy of holies open, giving light to all. We all look elsewhere for this light. It draws us out of ourselves, but the name always lives within. Focus your light within. Make it useful. Hallowed be thy name. That inner shrine of God's name, the name you name as love inside of you. Let's release the clutter and allow it to live and breathe and be inside of us. And then finally, the letting go, heartbeat by heartbeat. This is so pertinent. This covers the part of the prayer, of the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Do you remember that one? Here it is. Loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt. Forgive our hidden past, the secret shames, as we consistently forgive what others hide. Lighten our load of secret debts as we relieve others of their need to repay. Erase the inner marks of our failures make, just as we scrub our hearts of others' faults. Absorb our frustrated hopes and dreams as we embrace those of others with emptiness. Untangle the knots within so that we can mend our hearts and simply ties to others. Compost our inner stolen fruit as we forgive others the spoils of their trespassing. And finally, we take a breath, loose the cords of mistakes binding us as we release the strands we hold of others' guilt. That's deep work. So I'm going to invite, as an entry to our prayer, Judy, if you can just play lightly for a moment. I want Doug to come up and just share something of Thich Nhat Hanh that he shared with me. So you're just going to share what you shared with me.
So, in considering this time of love, specifically Valentine's Day, Thich Nhat Hanh suggested that more than a ring, more than some flowers, more than a box of chocolates, a romantic trip, perhaps in a more profound and meaningful way, to look deeply, deeply into the eyes of your beloved and say, darling, darling, I am here for you now.
Thank you. Darling, I am here. Do we need to say anything else? Hallowed be thy name. Thank you.
In the ever-shifting water of the river of this life, I was swimming, seeking comfort. I was wrestling waves to find a boulder I could cling to, a stone to hold me fast, where I might let the fretful water of this river around me pass. And so I found an anchor, a blessed resting place, a trusty rock I called my Savior, for there I would be safe from the river and its dangers, and I proclaimed my rock divine. And I prayed to it, protect me, and the rock replied, God is a river, not just a stone. God is a wild raging rapid and a slow meandering flow. God is a deep and narrow passage, a peaceful sandy shore. God is a river swimmer, so let go. Still I clung to my rock tightly with conviction in my arms, never looking at the stream to keep my mind from thoughts of harm. But the river kept on tugging at my legs, till at last my fingers faltered and I was swept away. So I'm going with the flow now, these relentless twists and bends, acclimating to the motion and a sense of being led. And this river's like my body now, it carries me along through the ever-changing scenes and by the rocks that sing this song. God is a river, not just a stone. God is a wild, raging rapid and a slow, meandering flow. God is a deep and narrow passage, a peaceful, sandy shore. God is a river swimmer, so let go. God is a river swimmer, so let go.
I feel the same. Thank you, Dalton. I'd like to invite the ushers forward. And I just want to make sure I relayed the accurate date for Paul Mitchell's memorial. It's this Saturday. No, I may have said Sunday, but it's Saturday at 10:30. Yeah, so I just want to make sure you got that. And so as we invite the ushers out into the audience to collect, looking for my spot here. So I just wanted to share from the heart and take this in with your own heart as well. As we prepare to give our offering, our heart is filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for our spiritual well-being. We are filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance, for as each of us gives, we do receive.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
I am so blessed, and we are so blessed, and this center is so blessed. For we cherish the gifts that are given to allow this center to grow and to prosper and to flourish within and without, spreading its light into the community at large. Because we do know that we are blessed, and as we give, we do receive. And so with this moment of thankfulness, I simply let this go into the law, and together we say, and so it is. So I invite Sue to come up for a final remark, and then we'll have our closing song. And from now on Sundays, when the closing song is done, you can just leave peacefully at your own time. So we're just going to change things a little bit. So, Sue?
Charlie was going to tell you guys a joke, but he said, I already thought the joke, so now I can't say it. But I'll say it for him because I thought it was pretty funny. He said he was going to tell you up front that we are making a few changes in the service today, and he's going to give you a test at the end to see what you noticed. And that was, I know, what were they? We're trying to be subtle. But we had a conversation yesterday, and I always take to heart what people share. And one of them was, at the end of the song, people like to hold the energy of that song, and then here I come back up and go, chatter, 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 chatter. So I'm going to chatter first, and then you can bless the space with the song, and then those that are just really eager to go eat can go eat or shop. So my closing remark is from Hafiz. Now is the time for the world to know that every thought and action is sacred. This is the time for you to deeply compute the impossibility that there is anything but grace. Now is the season to know that everything you do is sacred. I love that. And may that blessing be upon you as you walk your week mindfully. And Dalton, take us home.
Everybody stand on up if you feel comfortable doing so. And try to remember not to karate chop anybody on the way out. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free. May I be free. May my friends be happy. May my friends be peaceful. May my friends be free. May they be free. If anyone has hurt me, I now freely forgive. If I have hurt anybody, may they forgive me now. May they forgive me now. May my enemies be happy. May my enemies be peaceful. May my enemies be free. May they be anyone has hurt me, I now freely forgive. If I have hurt anybody, may they forgive me now. I forgive myself right now. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. May they be free. May we all be free. May we all be free. May we all be, what's that word? Free.